Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Officer Moroni Mendez with the Glendale Police Department. I am the Public Information Officer. And today, this afternoon, we're going to talk about an incident that occurred last week on Thursday, March 14th, 2024 at 11:24 a.m. At that time, our police department received calls of a burglary in progress over at Tanger Outlet Mall. The information we received was that a white van had pulled up to a UPS delivery truck, had made entry by forcing the back door open, and multiple subjects wearing masks and gloves had jumped in, started taking boxes of merchandise out, loaded it up into their van, and then took off. We know that we had a few witnesses in the area that were calling in and reporting this incident, and some of them were able to record parts of this incident on their phones, which they later provided that to us. From that moment, after the van took off, our traffic cameras were used to look for it, and they found the van. It approached 95th Avenue, went on to Glendale Avenue, and then continued westbound. From there, it got on to the Loop 101 freeway and proceeded southbound. It's worth mentioning that this van was a white cargo van, and it did not have a plate, neither in the front or the back. Our detectives quickly responded and began circulating the area. They were able to pick up the van and establish or began mobile surveillance. As they were following the van would enter or exit and enter the freeway and or city streets, and would conduct a series of evasive maneuvers. Eventually, the van reached the area of 79th Avenue and the I-10 freeway, at which point the van stopped and multiple subjects or people from the van jumped out and started running away towards McDowell Road. Because we had so many detectives in the area, along with other agencies and their units helping us, we were able to apprehend and stop 7 of these individuals. From that point, we began processing both scenes as evidence. Obviously, we had a scene over at Tanger and a scene at the location that the van stopped. In the van, we were able to find 28 packages of merchandise belonging to multiple stores from the outlet malls, alongside with multiple high-end burglary tools such as grinders, extended crowbars, floor jack pumps, and other items in the van. All right. The subjects were obviously arrested, taken to Glendale City Jail for booking and processing, as well as for interviewing and questioning. Those subjects have since been identified as Jose Antonio Barcia Posligua, 30 years old; Alex Gustavo Sabando Cedeno, 32 years old; Andres Cedeno, 35 years old; Ricardo Noel Moya Barbosa, 37 years old; Javier Juan Vera Chung, 40 years old; Jason Nelon Presilla Flores, 41 years old; and finally, Hector Flores Berridos, 46 years old. All subjects were arrested and booked for burglary, ARS 13-1506A1, and possession of burglary tools, ARS 13-1505A1. Just want to take a moment to thank the agencies that were there and assisted with us. We had Phoenix Police Department out there. They had their air unit. They had canines en route, and they had patrol officers en route as well. We also had Arizona Department of Public Safety, DPS, they're assisting, along with Tolleson PD, and then multiple units from the Glendale Police Department. It's through this collaborative effort that we were able to apprehend so many of these individuals and arrest them and take them to jail. Additionally, we just want to talk about the purpose of teamwork, and how this was effective in closing out this case or following up this case and doing such an amazing job. Our detectives did excellent, as well as our patrol officers. We had officers that responded to the scene of where this originally took place, and they provided important information that ultimately led us to finding the van, stopping it, and then apprehending these guys. All right. We can open up the floor to questions.
I have a few questions.
Yeah, of course.
Is everyone from Glendale, the 7 suspects?
No. It is known that the suspects are not from Glendale.
Do you know where they're from?
They're from, some of them are foreigners, but some of them are from different areas.
And then you mentioned 7 people. Are there any other people involved, or did you guys arrest everyone involved?
There was more subjects involved. Unfortunately, we weren't able to apprehend all of them, but 7 suspects were taken into custody.
How many more suspects are out there, and are you guys looking for them?
It's unknown how many total suspects there were, but obviously we have further evidence to follow up on to, hopefully find these individuals and close out the case with further arrests. So yeah, detectives would be investigating all avenues and all possibilities for this case.
Do you believe they know the route of that other van that had the merchandise in it?
It's possible.
Is there an approximate value of the merchandise that was stolen that you guys were able to identify?
As of right now, there isn't in my possession. I'm sure detectives have dollar amounts and all that available later on at a different time.
You said the merchandise came from different stores at that same outlet?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
There's been kind of a trend of foreigners and thefts throughout the valley. Is this any part of a network that you know of?
Well, of course that comes into question, and our detectives are trying to conduct a thorough investigation, so that's definitely a possibility that they would be looking into and investigating to see if that happened or if that's what's going on.
What country are they from?
I don't necessarily believe that's important to mention what country they're from, but we do have 6 foreigners, yeah. And to add on to that, U.S. Department of Immigration and Customs was contacted.
We can safely say South America.
Okay, yeah, the only reason why I brought it up is because of the one in Scottsdale, that was a specific country that the network was coming from.
Right.
So I was just wondering if that was connected to that, or is it another group, or?
It's a valid question, good question. Yeah.
Do you have any suspicion that it could be, something bigger? You only caught 7 of them. Do you have any suspicion that there's kind of more to this than just, the initial suspects you have?
Well, that possibility always exists, right? So, of course, it could be something bigger. It could be just what it is, at plain sight. So our detectives are going to be doing everything they can to investigate further, look into any other evidence or information that we may receive. Yeah, so I said the word traffic cameras, but in reality what we used was the Real-Time Crime Center, which is a center that we have here based out of our Glendale Police main station. It's an effective tool that we've used multiple times to investigate all types of crimes and incidents. In this case, we have, officers that are in there manning these cameras, listening to the radio, listening to the calls for service, and providing up-to-date or live information to our officers and detectives that are out there responding. So immediately, as soon as the van left, this information was broadcasted over the radio, and that's how our officers in this station were able to follow the van, find it, and give the information that was so crucial, and to our detectives being able to trail it or follow it and, later on conduct a stop. It's an excellent tool we have, very efficient. We're proud of it, and, we hope to continue using it to solve crimes of all sorts and kinds.
Does that consist of a lot of the corner cameras that are all over the place, or is it something else?
Yeah. So at various intersections throughout the city, we have very different of those cameras pointing in different directions that, can capture video of vehicles in and out of the area, license plates, not just vehicles, but, subjects or people walking and, minding or conducting their business, walking around.
Is there a possibility of giving the summary in Spanish?
Why don't we, at the end, we can have you just do something really quick.
Yeah.
You guys good?
Thank you.